You are not going to be able to convince me that the left constantly crashing out over Tradwives comes from anywhere but a place of pure jealousy, because they are not doing this because they're genuinely concerned about young women. They're doing this because they hate to see another woman happy in a heterosexual relationship and bringing back the nuclear family that they work so hard to destroy with their leftist agenda. For
Mm.
example, right now I'm seeing so many videos of so-called feminists go around saying that they hate Taylor Swift's new album, not because they think that the lyrics are bad or anything like that, but because they think that it's tradwife coded, whatever the hell that means. Taylor Swift is obviously a very successful woman, right? She's a self made billionaire. So if she wanted to stop that, right? If she wasn't getting the fulfillment from that anymore, and she decided that she wanted to be, a stay at home wife, she wanted to have children that she wanted to be present for and raise, what would be so bad about that? Besides the fact that her album is not like tradwife coded at all, there's nothing traditional about it actually. But if she did decide that she wanted that, why would that be so bad? These people are sitting there saying, "Oh, well, because it's influencing the youth." Influencing the youth to what? To have a loving, stable relationship, to want to have a
Mm.
family of their own that they put before others, which is what you absolutely should be doing, that they don't want to slave away for a corporation and call that a successful life, knowing that if they were to drop dead tomorrow, that corporation wouldn't care. And
Gotta love this. I gotta love this. Feminists are just jealous because they weren't able to have a successful relationship. Feminists, most likely, especially today's feminists, these so called feminists, they failed in relationships. Nobody wants them. So they say, I'm gonna be a feminist and I'm gonna say, I hate men. The only reason why a lot of these women are feminists is because they're unattractive. That's what it is. A man does not want to be with them. So you are forced to be a feminist. Why else would you be a feminist if you are a Democrat and the government's giving you all these benefits? They give you everything that you need. You have to be a feminist because you can't have a man, so you can't have the nuclear home. Men don't want these feminists. Feminists are just people that failed in marriage, failed in relationships, have unattractive traits. A man's not dealing with that. You bring nothing to the table, so you say you're going to do everything on your own. This is the reason why feminists don't like traditional wives. Traditional wives didn't fail. They succeeded in a relationship. They succeeded in raising kids. They succeeded in having a great marriage. They do all the things that feminists can't do. See, feminists want to say, I don't want to do it. It's just they can't do it. You got to look at where did they come from? A feminist usually comes from another feminist. There's nobody that's going to be a part of a loving home that sees a mom and their dad together, they love each other, and come out and say, I'm gonna be a feminist. Doesn't make any sense. But it's just jealousy. How can you get mad about Taylor Swift? She's promoting because she's with Travis Kelsey. They about to get married. She's happy. A lot of y'all don't like that. A lot of y'all like Taylor Swift when she was bashing men and talking about men this, men that, making all these songs against men. That's the reason why she got so popular. Have you noticed that in the music culture? A lot of these people get popular just because they talking about men. They bashing men. We know Taylor Swift made a lot of songs about men. She even said it herself, her breakups and everything. But that's what gravitated towards the audience. That was what was being pushed, especially by the blue. Feminists don't want to be traditional wives. Feminists can't be traditional wives. They refuse to learn. They refuse to highlight their own inequalities, their weaknesses. They refuse to work on those weaknesses. So they bash traditional wives. Because if you had the same thing this traditional wife have, you wouldn't be mad about being a traditional wife. It's just because you can't be one. Because nobody is taking the time to make you one. Because you're too hard headed. You're too independent. You too don't want to need a man. You too don't want to feel like you underneath somebody's thumb. You taking all these things negative where you're the one that's messing up society. I want to have a kid, but now I want to have a kid, but I don't want to be with that man. You're creating these homes of these single kids coming up and not having a nuclear home. The reason why we don't have a nuclear home is because of women. Because now you could have, well, not now, well, for a long time it's been, I don't need you. I can have the government take care of you, take care of me and my kid. I don't need you. There's no incentive to have a man, but now it is. Now it's you either got to go to work and get these SNAP benefits, you got to go to work for all these benefits now, Or you could just be married to a man that's successful or a man that's about his business that's gonna take care of you and the baby, and you good. Pick one. That's what it is. It's pure jealousy. Feminists are just jealous women. It's because they failed. They refuse to sit here and say, I failed. This is my weakness. This is what I did. This is you refuse to do that. So you failed. So feminists are failures. Feminists are people that refuse to work on themselves to make themselves better, to be attractive, to be a wife.
I'm all for warning girls, right? Tell them to have precautions put in place, right? Tell them to get an education even if they want to be a wife. Tell them to make sure that they at least know a trade, right? You don't necessarily have to go to university, that's not for everybody, but make sure that you have a skill set that you could support yourself on if need be. Make sure that you're really knowing who you're going to be marrying. Make sure that you have money set aside, all of these things, right? If you want to encourage them to do this in a safe way, I'm all for that. But if you're just sitting there trying to act like it's so bad to be a traditional wife, yeah, you're not going to convince me that doesn't come from jealousy, because we know that liberal women are actually the most depressed amongst us. This is not me making stuff up. This is an actual statistic. They're so unhappy. So whenever they see somebody who is happy, they want to destroy it, because we all know misery loves company. The fact that they get mad over women dressing more modestly, the fact that they're getting mad over the fact that people are waking up and realizing, yes, body count does actually matter. The fact that, like I said, the nuclear family is being rebuilt slowly day by day in this society, they just can't take it, because they know that unless they change their attitude and their hearts and their minds, that could never be them.
Mm, that's right. I love it. I love it. The generation coming up sees the value of having a nuclear family. This is the reason why Turning Point USA was so, well, still is dominant, but with Charlie Kirk, this is what he preached. Nuclear family. Talked about black people. The reason why you guys are where you guys at is because the father left the home. It's pure stats. Well, as soon as the father left the home and the black women felt like they didn't need a black man, that's when the generations start going down. That's when you had so many single baby mamas. That's the reason why you had these kids coming up jacked up. That's the reason why kids join gangs. It's because the father's not there looking for somebody to look up to, looking up to the wrong people. It's pretty simple. Have a family together and grow the family. Watch how your kids turn out, because your kids see stability. You're not going to be perfect, but they see stability. Hey, they may be mad at each other, but they ain't left each other. They're together. That's a great foundation for your kids to have and to see every single day. But the feminist movement don't want that. They want women to be on their own because it's easy to take advantage of a woman. Let's just put it that way. If you are a thief and you see a woman by herself walking down the street, or you see a woman walking with her husband down the street, which person is a thief going to target? The woman walking by herself. If the thief sees a woman walking by herself, a man walking with a woman, and the man walking by himself, who's this thief going to target? He's still going to target the woman walking by herself because she's weaker. See, y'all think being a feminist makes you strong. It makes you weaker. It makes you easy to control. See, y'all talk about y'all feminists, you don't need a man, but you still have a man. What you mean? The government's your man. The government is paying for everything. You're not paying for everything. There's very few feminists out there that pay for everything on their own, that are self-made, independent, very few. A lot of y'all still dependent on the government, which is provided by what? A man. This is the reason why a lot of y'all women is jacked up. But what we see is from the generations coming up, they see that formula doesn't work. But they see the other formula of a mom and dad together, and it's like, this formula works. This is why they're gravitating towards that. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell to see all the new videos. Keep this thing rocking. Appreciate the comments, appreciate the support. You know, you got to treat this stuff like a job, man. You got to treat life like a job. You got to do the same thing every single day. And don't worry about the success today. Worry about the success later on. But as always, I say it because it's going to come in the future. The daily show's coming soon. Appreciate y'all.